Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We were gonna focus today on oil scavenging, like the pump. I'm not even gonna front. I had to do a lot of mocking up. So this is basically how I came up with it. This is the location, and I have the OEM mount it came with, just mounted to my traction bar. Yeah, I'm just gonna wire, well, I gotta get black to chassis. I'm gonna get my 12-volt source on ignition so we can have this priming every time we just have ignition on. But yeah, I'm gonna do some valve lash real quick, just go over it. This video is really just gonna be kind of finishing up the build really, because I already also set up my volt gauge. Y'all might not be able to see, but in case y'all forgot, I told you I was gonna move the oil pressure gauge up there, and I have my volt gauge over there, no longer right here. I don't know, I think it's hard as fuck. But like I said, this video is gonna be just a little bit shorter. Yeah, like I don't even want to show y'all valve lash. It's just like that boring. Like y'all could honestly go online and look up how to do, you know. And I'm not the best at explaining stuff. But I'm just gonna show y'all how I route my 12-volt source to my fuse box, ground it out, and just finish up the build. Alright, I know I said I wasn't gonna show y'all, but I'm gonna just show y'all with this one. But basically we have feeler gauge right underneath there, and I don't know if you can see right here, we'll basically twist. As you twist this to loosen it, you'll basically open up the gap, and as you like twist it, you know, to close it, you'll close in the gap. So here, I don't know if y'all can see, there's like, you see how I'm pulling on it? So that's too tight. Now I backed it up, and look, you can see how it's not in there like at all now, you know? Go ahead and get the screwdriver and just tighten up a little bit more. Like slightly grabbing it. I might want to loosen it up a little bit more. Alright, well, we got our final adjustments, and now, as you can see there, now it has like a slight drag, and that's basically what you want. Basically do that with all your other ones, and as well you want to make sure that your cams are facing all the way up. This is OEM specification, which is 7 on intake and 8 on exhaust, but it can change if you have, you know, aftermarket cams. But that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually close up the head now. All right, well, we got the valve cover back on. I did go ahead and actually put like just a little thin layer of silicone, just because these tend to leak sometimes, you know. All right, well, I actually went ahead and got the turbo plumbing set up, you know, the boost controller, plumbing as well, wastegate and blow off valve plumbing. Went over all the wiring, make sure everything's connected. I still need to connect these, but that's honestly the least of my worries. I could do that right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and focus on these wires. I'm gonna go ahead and focus on these wires and routing them into the cabin to see how I can wire these in. All right guys, we are back 2 days later. I had to do a lot of diagnosing. Literally, you can see all those motherfucking fuses. I blew about literally 5 of them trying to figure out what the fuck was happening. Every time I turned my ignition on, because I had an added fuse for this. Long story short, I had to make a relay switch and harness, and I'll show y'all how I went about doing that real quick, and I'll see if I can even throw a diagram up front for y'all, but I'll show y'all the way I did that. So it's currently not mounted because I did take it apart to make sure nothing was touching on the inside, right? I made this little junction here so I could route it from the bottom up, ground, and again our positive wire. And we'll go back inside to show you. Now I try to keep it simple, but we have our 12-volt source coming from our battery, right? Again, hopefully I'll try not to confuse you, but we have this coming from our battery. We have this grounded out to chassis. Then we have here, this is our volt. This is where our 12-volt source basically goes to power whatever we're trying to power. In this case, our pump. And then we have this wire, which basically goes to our ignition switch on ignition. So whenever I turn the ignition, we get 12 volts sent to that wire, and it basically does it so it switches and like amplify a low amp and produce a much bigger amperage. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but yeah, so thank God we have this wired in now. But yeah, that's really gonna be today's video, guys. I just wanted I wanted to show y'all the way I went about wiring it and the way I have it set up. In the next video, we'll probably just focus on setting up the catch can and getting everything ready. But thank y'all for sticking around. I wanted to keep the video short and just kind of show y'all how I set up my scavenging pump.